Folks, this was a big week for earnings. I have picked out a few big names to take a look at. Let's see if they beat or missed earnings and how that will possibly affect the stock going forward. Let's see what stocks hit some earnings. UPS profits. 12% as profits rise 12% as pandemic spurs home deliveries. That's a stock that should gone up, beat earnings. Why? What else? Amazon should have been another one that hit because a lot of people in their mama, everybody in their mama is ordering stuff online. How about Shopify in Canada? That's Canadians. That's Canada's Amazon. Shopify. Alibaba, that's the Chinese version of Amazon. All of these companies are probably doing well because I know that my wife uses a lot of Amazon, and I think she's possibly keeping Amazon afloat all by herself, where I, on the other hand, with all of the Apple gear I have, my iPads and my watch and my phone and all of that, I'm probably keeping Apple alive all by myself. So between us, I think my wife and I are keeping the NASDAQ up. Between Amazon and Apple, thank us. Everybody should send me a check. My wife and I a check because we're keeping the NASDAQ up. I want you to know that. We're keeping the NASDAQ up with Apple and with Amazon. So just putting that out there. All right. So UPS profits rise 12%. That's a good beat for them. What else is in here? General Electric shares jump after company posts surprise adjusted third quarter profit. Revenue tops expectations. Now, GE is coming into the electric field. Who was the company they bought 11% of? Gosh darn it. I forgot. I got to go back in time and look. I do so many stories. Who did they pick up 11% of? And I know there was a whole bunch of stuff going on. Who did they pick up 11% of? Can anybody tell me? Was it HYLM? Was that it? Can anybody tell me? I forget who it was, but they bought 11% of them. Or they were going to buy 11% of them. Does anybody remember? I'm thinking it might have been HYLM. I think it might have been. I think Joey is right. Joey listens to all of my stories. No, it was Nicola. It was Nicola. That's who it was. It was Nicola. Solo is a different story, Devendra. It was Nicola. So they're getting into the electric field. I think a lot of the share jumping, a lot of it is getting into that field. Solo was a different company. Solo had something else. I don't think it was GE, though. I don't think GE and Solo. I did that as a stock. Man, folks, you just go to the show now. How many stocks I've done as stocks of interest, right? Man, that's kind of cool. Right? I've got a little bit of a background now that goes on this. IPHI and cash are near moon. I know. Hold off on the individual stocks. You guys keep putting stocks in here. I'm going to stop looking at them. All right? Don't take away my chat, Joey, because every time I get off track, Joey takes away my chat. So Nicola, I think, is a good part of GE growing as well. What do you think of NEO? I haven't gotten there yet. So I just said I'm not looking at stocks just quite yet. What else is in my stories? Microsoft. Microsoft dips on weak revenue. Microsoft results beat across the board as Azure grew more than some analysts had expected, although guidance for the next quarter was soft. So you know something? I can look at a stock like Microsoft. Probably the relative safety on the stock was nice and high. But what happens? I don't have an indicator that talks about forward guidance. I don't have that kind of indicator. And because I don't, it makes it tough. Microsoft beat, but forward guidance wasn't there. It's an electric station for EV. I think the electric station that I'm looking at for EV happened to have been Blink, BLNK. That's the electric station that I'm looking for all of you to keep your eyes on. Solo may be in that group as well, but BLNK is a definite company to keep your eyes on for recharging vehicles. All right, so the company's gross margin is benefiting for an accounting change related to depreciation of server equipment. And you know something? Another thing that came out about Microsoft is that they're moving more to the laptop field, more so than the commercial towers. Well, it's because a lot of people are working from at home now. People don't want to bring those towers home. They'd rather work on a good quality laptop, and I think that commercial business is hurting them. I think that their guidance on their commercial business is what's hurting them as well. They are a big, every company that you go to normally has Microsoft machines. Ours do. We got Microsoft machines. All right. But if people are not going back to work and they're working from home and companies are okay with that, that part of their field, that part of their business is going to suffer. And I think that that's a big part of the forward guidance. 3M tops earnings expected, earnings top expectations. Wow. Amid strong personal safety equipment. They're making stuff. They're making masks. Sales from 3M's healthcare segment popped more than 25% to $2.2 billion, driven by gains in medical solutions, separation and purification, and oral care equipment. So companies that survive anything are companies that can adapt. 3M, how about Ford was doing, was it Ford? I think Ford was using one of their closed down factories to help bring up or create or make ventilators. Any company that can overcome, adapt, and adjust, the same thing I learned in the Marine Corps. You need to overcome, adapt, and adjust. And companies that can do that are companies that will survive any kind of calamity that happens. So 3M is doing it. Ford was doing it for the ventilators. 3M is doing it, and because they're doing it and they're making the money, that was a good way for them to keep on going. Glenn would need to see your mug before he gives you one. What are you talking about, David? GM did that too. So GM did it. Ford did it. A lot of people are jumping on board with trying to make money where the money, they got to get the money where the money can get got. They got to get the money where the money can get got. All right, so 3M pops on earnings. How about Pinterest? I see the notations in here about Pinterest. Coldhammer says, Glenn, let me know what you hear about 6G tech and who's providing it. I don't know nothing about 6G tech. I'm still trying to wrap my head around 5G tech. I don't know who's out there doing 6G tech. You know something, though? It might be something I got to look into. 6G, I'll look into it. I haven't seen any stories on it, but maybe I can bring it to your attention here on Trending Thursday. I haven't seen that at all yet. You ever heard anything about 6G yet at all? I don't know. Don't take it away. I'm doing good today. I really am. I'm doing that on purpose. Leave me alone. I am doing good. I am doing good. All right. So Pinterest shares are soaring up 28% after the company delivers a monster quarter. The only thing I look at Pinterest for is for recipes. How do you know that?
Because you always say that.
Oh, because I always say that? All right. Well, that's the only thing I ever look at Pinterest for. All right. All my main social media is Twitter and Instagram. By the way, if you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, look for @GlennTompkins Jr. on either Twitter or Instagram. And I do post a lot of stuff about VectorVest on those throughout the day. I haven't lately. I've just been really, really busy. All right, so those are my companies, some of the companies that I wanted to take a look at that had hit earnings. So we'll go to Pinterest. We'll go to Microsoft. We'll go to GE. We'll go to UPS. We'll go to 3M. I think those are the companies that I had. Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5. So those are the 5 companies that I had for beating earnings. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, baby. Let's talk about all the stocks. All right, anyway. So Pinterest. Let's talk about Pinterest. Let's analyze Pinterest. So the stock have beat earnings. All right. I know. Remember, I didn't look at every stock that beat earnings. I know Apple comes out today, though. Apple comes out today. Apple's not out yet, but I said these are only a few of the stocks that I saw that I wanted to present here for earnings. All right, Pinterest, $62, value $5.33, way over its value. Microsoft, $206 with a value of $152, over its value. General Electric, trading at $738, value $878. Under its value. United Parcel, $162, value $124, over its value. 3M, $158, value of $151, slightly over its value. For those of you who are brand new, what is the VectorVest value? Value is what we feel a stock is currently worth based on earnings growth rate versus on its earnings per share, based on things like that, amongst other things that make it a proprietary indicator, value is what we feel a stock is worth. Now, when you look at a stock like Pinterest that's overvalued, that may not always be a bad thing. It just means that people are willing to pay a premium to own the stock. So with that, let's do the further analysis. Now we look at our 5 proprietary indicators which help you to make a better decision on a stock, better than any other information that you'll get out on the web and even through your broker. All right. Relative value, RV, looks at a stock's long-term price appreciation potential. We compare it to an alternative investment in a AAA corporate bond. So what does that mean? When you buy a bond, you buy it, it matures, you get your money back with a small interest. It's a pretty safe investment. We compare that AAA corporate bond to the stock by way of its RV. Below the value of 1. Now, all 5 of these indicators are on that scale between 0 and 2, where above 1 is favorable and below 1 is unfavorable. Relative value, or the upside potential on pins, is at 0.75, below the value of 1. This upside potential, the AAA corporate bond most likely will outperform pins over the next, or Pinterest over the next 1 to 3 years. All right. Microsoft has got a relative value at 1.20. This stock, Microsoft, should outperform that AAA corporate bond by 20% over the next 1 to 3 years. So looking at what relative value will do, it will give you a sense of the stock's long-term upside potential. Do I want to own this stock long-term? Microsoft says yes, whereas Pinterest says no by way of RV. General Electric, relative value at 1.17, higher than 1, so it should outperform that AAA corporate bond by 17%. Long-term, I don't mind owning GE. United Parcel Service, 0.89 on RV. That AAA corporate bond should outperform United Parcel Service over the next 1 to 3 years. All right, keep that in mind. 3M, it's got a relative value of 0.91, below the value of 1. That AAA corporate bond should outperform 3M over the next 1 to 3 years. So I can determine whether the stock is under or overvalued, and then I can determine if a stock is worth me holding long-term as compared to a AAA corporate bond. Let's go to relative safety. It's an indicator of risk right off the bat. Relative safety looks at the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. Can I be sure that when earnings comes out, that this stock has got a high probability of meeting or exceeding earnings? Why is that important? Because earnings is the engine that drives a stock's price higher. So if I've got a company that's got rising earnings, that becomes very attractive to investors, thus driving the stock's price higher. Now, relative safety below 1 tells me the stock has got a little bit more risk, which means I need to trade it a little differently. Pinterest, it's got a relative safety below the value of 1 at 0.93. This is a little bit more of a risky stock. Whereas Microsoft has got a relative safety at 1.39. So it's got good upside potential and it's got good relative safety. This is a good fundamentally sound stock. It is a stock that's got good upside potential with good non-risk factors. Okay, General Electric, relative safety at 0.82. A little bit more risky because it is below the value of 1. Where UPS has got a relative safety at 1.12. This stock should meet or exceed its earnings expectations quarter over quarter, year over year. All right. And the last one, 3M, with a relative safety at 0.95, below the value of 1, a little bit more risky. Now, let's talk about if these stocks are moving up or moving down right now. Relative timing is that indicator. Above 1 on relative timing, the stock's in an uptrend. Below the value of 1, the stock's in a downtrend. Pinterest has got an RT at 1.85, one of the highest. It is the highest in my list. Pinterest is the stock that's moving up the most. Well, because of earnings, it's up 26% today. I like that. Microsoft, even though it's a fundamentally sound stock with relative value and relative safety above 1, look at the relative timing. The stock is in a downtrend. You know, a stock could be fundamentally sound, but it could just be the wrong time to be in a fundamentally sound stock. And that's what's going on with Microsoft right now. Next stock, General Electric, RT above 1, stock's in an uptrend. United Parcel, relative timing at 1.03, in an uptrend. 3M with a relative timing at 0.82, in a downtrend. This is the kind of information that makes the difference in helping you to make the right decision on a stock and not. This is the only kind. This information is the only place you can get this information is from VectorVest. Joey's going to put the link in again. for a 99-cent trial. You guys need to take it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Listen, I'm driving a lot of y'all to water. All you need to do is stick your little tongue out and drink it. That's what you need to do. 99 cents is the way to stick your little tongue out and drink the water. The water's right there. Come on in, the water's fine. 99 cents to get this kind of analysis on every stock that we track. Then you can see which stocks have a buy, hold, or sell recommendations, which ones have good earnings growth, and which ones have positive earnings. This is how you analyze a stock in the market. I don't care who you look at on YouTube. Nobody analyzes stocks like this. Nobody. And if there is somebody out there, I challenge you to bring them to me and show me in the chat any company that analyzes stocks the way that we do. I challenge you. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. If not, spend the 99 cents. That's all I got to say about that. All right. So with that being said, let's take a look at these stocks. Oh, man, they all went away. Good Lord. What was it? Pins, Microsoft, UPS, 3M, GE, and GE. Let's go look at them now that they're all highlighted. Let's go see if by way of meeting or exceeding earnings, what they look like. Oh, I like Pinterest. Pinterest was up today a lot. Look at the big wick at the top. A lot of volume. Nice move. I can go put earnings on. Today was an earnings play. Yeah. There's my earnings. Today was an earnings day. A lot of give back on the move up from the stock. The stock moved from $49 from the close of yesterday up to almost $70. Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of profit taken. That is what I'm talking about. Be careful with stocks that beat earnings and jump up. That was a beautiful gap up, but a lot of give back. It is clearly, look at all of this time it's been above the 20-day exponential moving average. How about going into earnings with a relative safety, just slightly below one, but look at the price action. That was a good stock to hold through earnings. And you know something, if you want to put some protection, buy a protective put just in case it went down. All right, but nicely moving up today. What else is in here? Microsoft beat earnings, nice up day today, but look at where Microsoft is as of right now, below the 20-day exponential moving average. Earnings looks beautiful. RT shows me that the stock is in a downtrend right now. I would definitely wait to see if the stock could get back above the 20-day exponential moving average and RT go above 1. All right, I look at United Parcel Service. It hit good earnings, nice open candle. I like that relative timing is back above 1. Every time it has been, look at the stock's price move to the upside. That's a good early sign. If I want to be a little aggressive, I wouldn't mind pulling the trigger on United Parcel today. Nice up day with RT above 1. If I want to be a little bit more get a little bit more confirmation. Let's see if it can go up above the 20-day exponential moving average. 3M beat earnings, but not. It needs a little bit more than just beating earnings to catch my attention. It is clearly below the 20-day exponential moving average. RT is below 1. Earnings looks great. I really need the price to start moving up before I think about pulling the trigger on it. GE, nicely moving higher since about September, a little pullback here going into the earnings play. Even with the earnings, big down day. I definitely want to buy on an up day. The stock is clearly above the 20-day exponential moving average. RT is above 1. Volume's been pretty steady. Earnings per share, though, is falling. It is positive, but look over the last 3 months. Earnings per share is falling. Be careful with it. This is why we go just beyond the news and we do the analysis that we do. Hey, if you like this content, guess what? You can join us live every Thursday at 2 p.m. here on YouTube. Join VV Nation. We hope to see you there.
Yeah.